Hi again, Mark here from Talkingbass.net. Now, I'm guessing a lot of you wonder about modes and all of that stuff and wonder how you can use it in your playing. Well, today I'm going to focus on one scale or mode in particular, the Dorian scale, and I'm going to show you how you can easily apply it into your playing just by adding a couple of notes to something that you probably already know really, really well. Remember, the lesson workbook and the tab and the tracks and all of that stuff are available to download from Talkingbass.net, so just follow the link in the info below. And while you're there, as always, check out the lesson map where you'll find hundreds of other free lessons on every bass topic imaginable. Then if you sign up for the free membership, you'll be able to download a ton of free practice resources and ebooks like the scale reference manual, so go check it out. Okay, so most of you probably already know a minor pentatonic scale. I've covered it in loads of other lessons and it's pretty much the go-to rock scale. So if you're in good old E minor, you're going to get this kind of sound. Okay? Now, if you don't know that scale, I've got links to some of my other videos where I go deep into what it is and how to use it. And if you do know it, and you have a good idea of how to use it, you'll know how useful it can be. You can use it over minor chords and minor keys, and you get some really instant cool fills and riffs. So if you don't know it, learn it. So now on to the Dorian scale. Now the Dorian scale is the second mode of the major scale. So if you're in C major and we play from D to D, which is the second note, that's a Dorian scale. Now, I'm not going to get into the theory of modes here or any of that stuff because I want to focus straight on the application. So I'll go straight for the big tip that I've got for you. All you have to do to incorporate the Dorian scale into your playing is to use the minor pentatonic, just like you always would, but add two extra notes in there. The major second and the major sixth. Okay? So all the Dorian scale is a minor pentatonic with an added major second and major sixth. So let's have a look at a C minor pentatonic scale. So we're going to start it here at the 8th fret of the E string, this C here. So the most popular way of probably playing a minor pentatonic would be this. So we'd have 8th fret and 11th fret on the E string, C and E flat. Then we move up to the F and the G there on the A string, so that's the 8th fret and 10th fret, and then up onto the D string where we play the B flat and the C, which is the 8th fret and 10th fret. Okay, so very popular minor pentatonic pattern. But what we're going to do is actually use the same notes, it's still the minor pentatonic, but I'm just going to shift that minor third down to this 6th fret here, this E flat. We're playing it here at the 6th fret of the A string. So we're going to have C, then shift E flat, F, G, B flat, C. Okay, so it's just a different way of playing it. Now, that's the minor pentatonic scale. So all we have to do to change that to a Dorian is add the D, the major second, and the A, the major sixth, and that's it. Okay, so if we work up through there, C, D, so that's 8th fret, 10th fret on the E string, then E flat, F, G, so that's 6th fret, 8th fret, 10th fret, and then up onto the D string we've got A natural, B flat and C, so that's 7th fret, 8th fret and 10th fret. So that's a Dorian scale. Now, we're not going to be looking at it really as a scale in a kind of linear sense, you know, just working up and down. You know, you can do that, but I'm going to concentrate more on how you might apply it by just incorporating that second and that sixth into the stuff that you already do. So if you're used to, you know, messing around with a minor pentatonic, we're just going to add that note in there and that D there, or this D there. Either one, the A and the D, we're just going to pop those in there. So just as in the recent fills lessons that I released, we're going to take a basic riff and then we're going to add some fills in there and we're going to try and exploit some of those notes from the Dorian scale, okay? So the riff is going to sound like this. So here we're going to be using the C minor pentatonic and C Dorian scales that I've already covered. So we begin on the C 8th fret of the E string, and then we move up to the B flat and the C on the D string. So that's 8th fret and 10th fret, and we have, okay, and I'm just putting a little ghost note there in between the B flat and the C. So, okay, so that's the first part. Then we have ghost note, and so we've got A natural to the B flat. So these are the notes from the Dorian scale. This is what gives it that Dorian flavour. So that's 7th fret to 8th fret on the D string. So, okay, so there's that A natural, that's the Dorian. Then exactly the same thing again. And then ghost note, and then we've got the E flat there up at the, what's that, 8th fret of the G string twice, and then back to the C 10th fret of the D string. And that's the whole riff. So, okay, round and round. Now let's add some fills in there. So what we're going to do is play through 3 bars of that riff and then add a fill in on the 4th bar. So we'd have, and then we've got the fill there, okay? So let's have a listen to the first fill. So that fill played slowly sounds like this. Okay, so it's all based on a minor pentatonic, but we've just got this one note in there from the Dorian scale, which is going to be the D up there. So this is going to be that major second, but we're playing it an octave higher. So it's up there, 7th fret of the G string. So let's work through that fill. And remember, this is all transcribed in the lesson material, so just follow that link in the info below. So we start with, we come down 3 notes of the minor pentatonic, so C, B flat, G, so 10th fret, 8th fret, D string, 10th fret on the A string. Then we come up to the E flat and then the C, so 8th fret, G string, then 10th fret, D string. And then we come down on that D there, so 7th fret of the G string, then what's that, the 8th fret of the D string, so the B flat, and then down to the G at the 10th fret of the A string. So you could see that as a minor arpeggio, actually, a G minor arpeggio. That's another way of being able to incorporate this. So you've got, and then we're back up to the C, and we just come down that minor pentatonic. C, B flat, G, F, E flat, C, B flat. Okay, so 10th fret, 8th fret, D string, 10th fret, 8th fret, 6th fret, A string, and then 8th fret, 6th fret on the E string. And that's the whole fill. So we have, okay, so in terms of the fingering there, at the start I'm just using the 3rd and 1st finger. Then when I move to the descending arpeggio there, I've got the 1st finger, 2nd finger and 4th finger. Then I bar the 4th finger, kind of joint bar it to get back up to the C. And then I just come down with the 4th and 1st fingers. So, and that's the whole fill, okay? So you want to start slowly with this. Just get used to those small sections. Think of it in groups of 3s and 2s. So we've got 3, then 2, then 3, 3, 2, 3, then just think of descending scale, okay? So start slow, very slowly build up speed until you can get it up to speed, and then you can try with the track. Now, just before I play through it again with the track, one of the most important things here is to understand what's going on. We're just using the minor pentatonic scale. I mean, that fill is very minor pentatonic-y. You know, all of that kind of stuff, it's all based on the minor pentatonic. It's only that D up there on the G string that gives it that Dorian sound, but it does change the sound a lot. You know, there's a lot of emotive value in there, in that D. So this is how you can start to incorporate the Dorian scale, because remember, like I said, the Dorian is just the minor pentatonic with that second and that sixth in there. You don't have to start playing, you know, working up through the scale like that. That's not what this is about. It's just incorporating those notes for their flavor in isolation. So like I say, start slowly, build up speed, and then try with the track. For the second fill, we have the following. So this fill uses the A natural, that major sixth in there. So again, we're getting that Dorian flavour from there. And we've got this nice little turn to begin with. Okay, so we start on the A, so that's 7th fret of the D string, and we do this little hammer on and pull off. So we've got to the 8th fret there, the B flat, and back. Then down to the G, 10th fret of the A string. So it's all in that hammer on and pull off there. You know, pick the A, hammer on, pull off, then pick the G and back. And then we work up from there. B flat to the C, so 8th fret, 10th fret D string. And then we move up to the E flat at the 8th fret of the G string. Then we come down, C, B flat, so that's 10th fret, 8th fret D string. Then G, 10th fret of the A string. And then just a simple B flat to C hammer on there, 8th fret to 10th fret of the D string. Sorry. And then we're back into the riff. So, very slowly. Okay? So once again, this is all about the minor pentatonic. It's only that A natural in there, with that little turn, that's anything from the Dorian scale. All of the rest of that is minor pentatonic based. Okay, so if you're used to playing that minor pentatonic scale, you know, and playing fills like this, this will all seem like familiar territory. It's only that A in there that's giving it that flavour. So, once again, start really slow with this. You know, the rhythm of that might throw you a little bit. It's quite syncopated, and you know, you've got this like little 16th note triplet in there that can throw you off. But start slow, build up speed, and then try with the track. Finally, for fill number 3, we have the following. So in this fill, we're getting to use both the 2nd and the 6th, so we're getting full-on Dorian scale. So the fill begins here on this G, 10th fret of the A string, and we have G to A and then up to C. So this little move here that incorporates that A natural higher up. So 10th fret, 12th fret A string, then 10th fret on the D string. So very kind of major pentatonic there because of that major sixth in there. And when you've got this, when you're using that major sixth over a minor chord like this, that, you know, major sixth over a minor chord is what gives it that flavor. So almost majorified there. So after we've come up to the C, we slide down to the B flat at the 8th fret of the D string, and then down G and the F, so 10th fret, 8th fret on the A string. And then we just come back up to the C. After the G, we've got the B flat and the C again, so 8th fret, 10th fret of the D string. And then we jump up to the F, 10th fret of the G string, and we come down that minor arpeggio, that G minor again. So we've got the F, 10th fret of the G string, D, 7th fret of the G string, B flat at the 8th fret of the D string, and then the G at the 10th fret of the A string, which again has a different kind of flavor. Okay, so again, it is pretty much based around a minor pentatonic, but it's these notes in there, the A and the D, that give it that Dorian flavor. So. And that's it. So again, work through the tab in the lesson workbook, take it slow, get it under your fingers, pay special attention to where the notes of the minor pentatonic are and then where the notes of the Dorian are and how we're using that Dorian. Really look at it with an analytical eye, okay? Don't just learn the fill and think, oh, there we go, I've got some notes under my fingers. Really look at what's going on, you know, what it is that's creating those sounds, okay? So, like I say, start slow, build up speed, then try with the track. Okay, so that's the Dorian scale. So remember, all the lesson material and backing tracks are available to download from talkingbass.net, so just follow the link in the info below, and also like this video if it's helped and subscribe for news on updates. Also, be sure to hit that little bell next to the subscribe button, otherwise you're not going to get any notifications about the upcoming lessons, and that should be one of the main reasons that you subscribe, shouldn't it, YouTube? Okay people, hope you liked the lesson, and I'll see you next week.